is full of victims. Those were the words spoken directly to Mr. Pargas about the horrific details unfolding in classroom 112. In fact, there were several instances where he was told of the gravity of the situation, and yet as a senior officer in that building, Mr. Pargas never felt compelled to take any action. Having knowledge that there were injured children inside that classroom, Mr. Pargas chose to retreat. It is true that Mr. Pargas has a long career in law enforcement and as a public servant, but when Irma was 16 years old, her first job was at a small video store on the east side of town called Reno's Rentals. Mr. Pargas was her employer. Do you even remember her? Do you remember Joe dropping her off and picking her up after work? They were high school sweethearts at the time. They shared a beautiful life together and created a story that was admired, while yours will be a tale of negligence and shattered leadership. I'm not blind to the irony of Mr. Pargas being present when Irma was first entered the workforce and also being present decades later on what would be her last day as a teacher, her last day on earth. The painful realization that you stood outside her classroom as her bullet little body lay on the floor of her classroom is almost too much to bear. Some of you here may have had the pleasure of knowing my sister Irma. She was many wonderful things, but on May 24th, 2022, she was given no choice but to become a human shield for her students as best as she possibly could. While the police retreated and Mr. Pargas cowered in the hallway, she bravely stood amidst evil and chaos. In a nightmarish atmosphere where the police hesitated against a lone gunman, Irma and Eva stood unarmed, yet with unwavering courage to protect their students. They both became the embodiment of bravery. They were stronger and braver than those who swore an oath to protect. Their unyielding courage spoke louder than any badge, and their actions served as a beacon of true heroism. In the painful aftermath of this massacre, we learned of the failures of law enforcement, especially those of Mr. Pargas. Her beautiful lives were tragically lost due to his incompetence. You, Mr. Pargas, squandered your responsibility to protect and save lives. You left those victims vulnerable and in direct danger. It is now clear to you the only life worth saving was your own. It is unbelievable that Mr. Pargas has the audacity to challenge his less than honorable discharge status. In true cowardly form, you requested and were granted the privilege of having your status hearing to be conducted virtually, only to have it conveniently postponed. You refuse to help and rescue those in dire need, but the measures you take to redeem your reputation is appalling. The fact that he holds a seat at this court is appalling. The unfortunate truth is that you faltered and lives were jeopardized. Your failure to protect citizens warrants that your status remain unchanged. Protecting people is a vital responsibility, and you failed to meet that crucial expectation, and that should not be overlooked. Incompetence breeds tragedy. The deadly ramifications of this man's failure to take action that day resulted in precious lives being lost and the hopes and dreams of our youth shattered. I ask those in power to prioritize and show value in competence and not reward incompetence. Embrace accountability. A less than honorable discharge is what this man deserves. It is a testament to his lack of action and is a symbol of his failed leadership. Shame should be his constant companion. The loss of his financial benefits is nothing compared to losing your life the way our 21 lost theirs that day. Let his failures serve as a reminder that not everybody deserves to wear a badge. We, the people of this community, must stand together and demand accountability. No redemption for the undeserving, nor for the irredeemable.